Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me today. Dude, I've been super busy. Come here. Super busy today. Got a bunch done. It was my birthday yesterday, and I had to go renew my license, man. Been there. You been there. You read the title. You know what we're going to talk about. Very excited to bring this to you. I've been enjoying this a lot. We're going to be doing a tiger build in there today. Right? And I did mine with 0.9 ribbon and 24 gauge nichrome 80. Okay? The way you make that is you take two equal lengths of each wire, you put them in the chuck of a drill, fire it. Right? I love tiger builds. If you've even watched any of my videos, you know that by now. And I believe that they're the best of both worlds, vapor and flavor. There's many variations out there. And this is what I like in this atomizer. If I wasn't to go with tiger wire, I would do 24 gauge nichrome 80, 7 or 8 wraps. Both are great. 3mm bit, centered up, perfect. Let's get into this, man. Let's take it down. We'll do the unboxing. We're gonna have some fun today, dude. Stoked! It's been too long, man. Here we go. Wow! Come on, man. Bring you up a little closer, even. Matter of fact, let me bring you back up and then back down. Yeah, baby. Package. All right. Special thanks to Riverwalk Vapors, Nick. Shout out to Nick, man, and all the great employees at Riverwalk. Donated this for review. Super cool. Suave Atty by Blitz Enterprises. This atomizer was designed in Orange County, Cali, and manufactured by Vapor iJoy in China, and then it's Q-checked in Cali. Right? QC'd in Cali, man. First thing you're gonna notice is Allen key, bag of tricks. We can bust into that. The bag of tricks is pretty straightforward here. Some O-rings, Phillips head screws. We're going to talk about those. Another blue screwdriver. There's only one of these I've ever been able to use, and it's the one that came with the support from Watofo, which we're going to be reviewing as well. But I've never ended up using one of these. I know a lot of people like to build with them. So to each their own, man. You know what I mean? But another one right there. And extra hex key screws. Right? Bunch of extras in here, which is nice. Again, nice Allen key. Nice black, sturdy Allen key. This has been working really well for me. We'll set that off to the side. Inside the box, you're going to have the Addy. Nice cushioning for shipping and all that. There's nothing underneath it that I found. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the Addy. You're going to see a couple more O-rings. Again, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Little grub down there in the bottom. Just chilling. Just chilling, man. And a 510 adapter. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to show you that first. Little Everyday Ghost playing in the background. Sick. Pull that out. I shout out to Justin, man. Big shout out to Justin. And also Subohm Saint YouTube channel. Shout out to them, dude. Both those guys. A lot of love, man. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take out the auto. Right. Here's the 510. Now, you're going to see a little scrape on there. See that? I just did that. So, that wasn't it. There we go. One O-ring. Set that up to the side. And show you the whole atomizer. Here's the Suave, man. Nice little offering from these guys. Interesting, right? Suave Addy engraved on the top with a nice streamline going all the way around the top there. Going around the drip tip. And the Suave Addy right there. Kind of cool lettering. Almost graffiti-ish. On the bottom, Blitz Enterprises. Designed in the USA. Copper 510 pin. Pretty short 510 length, I've noticed. But everything I put on it's fit. and the threading is really smooth on there. It came to me pretty clean too. A lot cleaner than the Noxus. This one I got from the Vaping Walrus. The Noxus is cool. But this one was definitely oily when I got it. We're going to talk all about that. That one I'm really excited about as well. Let's start from the top and work our way down. Now, I've shown you the 510. I'm going to go ahead and show you this little drip top here. Pull that off. You know, obviously huge bore. A couple pinstripes on the top for looks. Nice, comfortable, good size. You know, I'm not a big fan of these where they're really close to the body, because if it gets hot, you go to, you put your mouth around it, your lips touch it, and it's all warm. I've just never been a big fan of that. This one I haven't had too much problem. I feel like it's right on the edge of what I like, but it's long enough. Right, let's pull that off. Let's talk about this. Top cap pops off. Now you're gonna look at this and go, crazy. Obviously, it's gonna keep the spit pack away. It's gonna keep it down. And it does an excellent job of that. I haven't noticed a change in vape quality because of this at all. Like, it doesn't feel different to me. It feels okay. It feels just like normal, which I was kind of surprised, to be honest. But these are pretty huge cutouts here. Nice flavor out of this. Let me turn this down right now. Apologies. Down, there we go. Alright, one more look around. One O-ring holding it on. It's kind of a bowl shaped. And on the inside, it's almost got a dish. See that? If I can get it in the right light. It's almost like a dish. It's definitely will hold juice. Once it gets on there, it's going to stay on there. Barrel next. Pop that off. You notice the extra set of O-rings, right? Let me grab my tenderfoot stand. Pull that off. And it's because I've been changing O-rings out on this. As far as O-rings go on this device, they're pretty bad. Very loose for me. They're just, I would definitely like to see those tighter. And from what I understand, they're working to fix that. Apparently they're going to fix this O-ring situation. I hope it's super tight, man. I definitely like it more snug than loose. There's a barrel. Nice work, man. Nice work. Generous air holes. I mean, good lord. I mean, you could really go in on this thing. I mean, you could lob, man. If you want to lob vapor, dude, you could definitely do it with this thing. Reminiscent of the Freak Show, what have you there. The overall size of the barrel, or the whole Atty itself, is pretty good, man. On the inside, you can kind of see it there. Pretty generous height. I feel like spitback hasn't been an issue with me at all, and I don't think for anybody else. I don't think it should be too bad at all. Without this. That's up in the air, man. That's just kind of, thinking out loud. But I really like the size of it, and it looks sexy on everything, man. Everything. Here's the deck. Star of the show. Just give it a little twist. You've seen the bottom. Dual ring on the top, and I feel like this might be where the Suave turns into the leaky Meister. You got them scrunched up here in the top. A lot of the leaking I get isn't necessarily from the airflow holes. It's from the side. Yeah, it comes down through the side. It's making its way past the O-rings and coming out around in here. All right? Just down the sides. I'm not getting any really at all because of how I'm wicking it, I think. Through here. Just down the side. I'd like to see some spacing in between these, and if they were tighter, I think it'd be set. Maybe no ring just above this airflow hole. I'm no engineer by any means, but I really feel like some space between these two would definitely improve the leaking issue. Definitely. Look at the deck. Stubby posts. Built-in negatives there. Right into the deck. A square center post. Alright, peak insulator, squared off all around. That thing is not moving, and as you can see, I'm using the hex screws in there today. Well, every day. And we'll get into that in just a second. Now, looking at this deck, you're going to see that they kind of notched out. Okay, think about the freak show, how that is. It just goes straight across. Check that out, man. They notched it. What does that do? That's a huge deal for building. You can get those coils really close in there and it won't be touching your deck. If your coils touch your deck, right? We know what happens there. Shorts and stuff, man. We don't want that ever. But by taking that little notch out, take a peek right here, it definitely gives you a little extra room to play with. However, I have found that with your negative lead, when you push it over, it comes very close to touching this part right here. Would have been pretty cool to see almost a notch going all the way around from post to post. I would have liked to see that. However, you know, the reason I say that is so you guys know what you're looking for. You know, if you get this atty, if you get this bad boy, right, you know what to look for. Keep an eye on your leads. Keep an eye on your coils. Make sure it's not touching anything. You're going to notice the eyelets are very generous. In my opinion, they're super generous. Not bad. I mean, there's obviously way bigger out there, but I feel like this is plenty big. Let me go ahead and open them up so you can get a good look. And you're probably noticing the placement of these screws. The placement of how these are coming in at an angle on the center post here. And I have found that when building it, it feels pretty good, man. Like, it's pretty easy to use. It's not really a pain in the butt to tighten those down, to loosen them up, or anything like that. So there you go. So you can see with those eyelets, and I got it pretty lined up straight across right there. Those eyelets, man, are right above the deck line. So that notch is super important. Typically, when you put your coils closer to the airflow hole, the closer you get to the airflow hole, the better the flavor is going to be. I kind of do like a little bit on the into the airflow, like it's almost like half and half, or like a third. You know what I mean? And my coil kind of gauges in there. But with this notch, it's also going to bring the airflow is going to cut out a little early, which is nice. So you can actually bring your coils in just a hair more from the airflow. One more look at that before we build it. Nice work. No shards of metal anywhere. Nothing like that. Cool, man. Let's build it. Let's engage salt and pepper mode here, man. We want to build this thing. I'm ready to use it. Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye out for, man. All set up there? Good. Okay, like I said, like I was telling you before, 24 gauge nichrome 80 twisted with 0.9 ribbon right here. And that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using a 3mm driver. And I'm going to do 7 wraps. Microcoil. One thing I did forget to mention earlier, those Phillips head screws that you saw in there, remember I was showing you those? I'm having an issue with those where they don't fit. They don't fit on these negative ones, or on the positive post, because how it's angled, the head of the screw hits these negatives. I can't get any of them to fit in there. So, though they're an extra, they can't be used. And I feel like that's a downfall for sure. 7 wraps, make sure it's nice and tight. Anytime you wrap a coil around anything, make sure that's nice and tight, man. Where's my wrench? Oh, there we go. Not my wrench. Jeez. Pliers. Wrench. There we go. Nice and tight around there. You want a nice, tight circumference when it comes to coils. Pretty doesn't mean it's going to work good, man. You can have an ugly coil and it works fantastic, right? But you do want it round, you know, wrapped really tight around there. And that's kind of what we're looking at. Let's thread it. I cut one lead longer than the other to make it easier to throw it in here. And I tend to always use my longer one in the positive. And I like to keep longer leads on my coils because I just like the extra play, you know, like the extra torque and leverage I can get on there. So I'm going to center it. So with that in mind, I want to keep some space there, as you can see here. And I'm going to center it over. About half the coil maybe will be sitting in the you know, near the airflow hole. Let me go ahead and tighten it down. You can't see, but just for a second here. And I'm tightening on the negative first. Just snug. Again, I haven't really had an issue with these kind of diagonal screws, if you will. I feel like they push the wire against the inside of this block pretty well, and it really gives you a good solid connection. I've really enjoyed that about this. I'm going to center it now. Got them locked down, little space there, but now I'm going to push it towards the center. I'll try and keep this in the shot for you. It's great. Just like that. So a little bit of the coil goes in the, maybe half, right? That's it, man. For now. For now. Let's get rid of these leads. Hold on to them when you cut them. You don't want your girlfriend stepping on those. Perfect. Get it nice and flush on this one. Always get it flush. I even double check. If it'll clip again, do it. Good. Okay. Now I can go ahead and insert the next one. Let's do 7 wraps again. 2. 7. Pull down on my leads, get it really snug around there. Band is sick. Nice and snug. Let's do it. Lung first, it should run right next. See that? It should run right next to the coil. That's what also I've really enjoyed about the Suave. Pulling on the lead just to get it. Needs a little more. It's pretty good there. It's good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten down that negative now. First. Just snug. And the positive. Just snug so it holds really well. That's kind of what we're looking at here. I'm going to push it in towards the center, just like the last one. Some muscle into it. Good. And while we got the driver inside the coil, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little more torque on this negative. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to reinsert my driver. And I want these nice and snug. But one thing the Suave is not lacking in is a good wrench. They send you with a good wrench. I believe these just came out too at ECC. Okay, I'm gonna come in here and again emphasis on really getting that nice and flush on that positive. If you don't get that one flush and it touches the other coil, you're gonna pop your coil, man. I'm gonna go ahead and insert this one while I tighten down these nuts one more time, and just by pushing that in I could feel it was loose. It needed more torque. It's super important on these coils, guys, that you get a nice solid connection with your screws. It's the heartbeat of the build. Yeah. I feel like those are pretty snug. That's what we're looking at right now. Far from done. This is usually the time where I make my adjustments, and I always make my adjustments before I measure it, the resistance of it. Get them nice and level. This one might have to go up a little bit. Yep. And I kind of lift up on them, and the reason I lift up on them is because I want my leads not touching the deck. And I'm going to show you, and I'm barely missing on them. You see how close that is? Let's see if I can get in closer here. Yeah, there we go. See how close that is? Very close. Very close, but not touching. That's what you want. They're pretty even. I'm happy with that. And the other thing is, too, is it's not, or they are pretty level going across. They're pretty flat. When I look at them straight on, they should definitely be level. And I'm also going to go through right now after I feel like I'm happy with it and do one more snug. Just a little, barely do a little grim green there, right? And because those adjustments can kind of wiggle these loose sometimes. All you're doing here is just making sure. Okay, one more look. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with the spacing. I feel like this one, yeah, that's okay. You know what? I'm gonna stick with that. This one right here is kind of bugging though. But can't be perfect, man. Right? Good. That's it, man. Let's measure it. .21. 0.2. It's right around the 0.22 mark. It wouldn't surprise me if that goes up after a few hits here, a few fires. Go ahead and throw it on my Titan here. Set that there. And get that down. We can move salt and pepper mode for a second before we wick it. What I'm going to get handy here is some ceramic tweezers. I'm going to fire it. And I'm just going to pulse it for a second. A good little tip to do with your tiger builds is torch them. After you make it, run it under a torch. Okay, let's get back into this. There we go. All I'm doing here is I'm pinching. These tweezers are just terrible, by the way. They won't open wide enough, so I have to like spread them with my finger like that. It's terrible. And as they glow, I'm going to strum it. So like, see how it's glowing? See how that one's kind of giving me a little love there? I'm going to strum it out with a little pressure. Not too much that you pop it, but we're getting there. And sometimes I'll fire it and just gently nudge it as I fire it like this. That. It's kind of the same thing as pinching, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I like that kind of slow ramp up time with these big chambers. Or bigger chambers, but that's the build, man. That's what we're looking at. Now we gotta wick it. One more fire to make sure. That's good enough. Sometimes playing with it too much will destroy it, man. Pop this off. I'm happy with how it's firing, though. I really am. That one is just a little teeny bit slower. What can you do? Okay, salt and pepper mode engaged. So we're back for the wicking section. I already have some pieces cut, and I use Muji Japanese cotton. I cut a little teeny slice out of the corner there, and I twist it up. Where that slice, that kind of angle I cut off of there, that's kind of where my point's gonna be. Twist it up, but keep it fluffy. Now I'm gonna run it through. And as I pull through, I'm going to pull this way and pull this way simultaneously. And then just where I'm happy with it, which is right there. Maybe give it a little twist. Make sure all the grain's running through the coil, just like that. Let's do it again. I twist it while it's in the coil, and I kind of look at the grain of the cotton, because for the most part with these Japanese cotton pads, they kind of all run in the same direction. So I'm just trying to get the most benefit out of that as I can. That's good. Okay. You want it nice and snug, but you want it, wherever it's coming out of the coil, you want it ballooning. So I pulled it like this, simultaneously slid it in, and then I backed it off just a touch to really kind of push everything kind of snugs up in that coil. And from what I can see on my angle, being here physically, most of the grains are running through the cotton, through the coil, and out the cotton, pretty much the same direction. So we got this longness here, right? I'm going to cut it pretty flush. So I'm going to take it here, and I'm just going to take about 2 or 3 mils off the deck, about like that. All right, on each of the negative post sides, just like that. Just a little bit off. This one I'm going to cut just a little bit longer than those. I mean, just a hair. Yeah, just a hair. So it looks something like that. Not by much. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I like to use the smallest micro screwdriver that I have. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck this one right here. I'm going to move salt and pepper mode. I think you guys get a better visual. I'm going to move it up just like this onto the top, and I'm going to press it down into this little, just like that, just like that. I'm just going to press it down there. I'm going to try and keep this all in cam for you. I went a little too far. Just a there we go. And I'm going to keep it fluffy. But I'm going to have it into that post, just like that. And from the side, see how it's not even touching anything? That's what I want. Just like that on both sides. Okay, let's go kitty corner here. Breaking through another day, another you. Give me a sign. Okay, and I'm just going to take my time here. What I want is I want it down in that channel, but I want it fluffy too. I don't want to sit here and cram it down in there. I just want to, just so it's nice and uniform in there. That one worked out great. This one didn't work so well. But that's okay. And again, it's going to look the same, see? Same thing. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Next up, we're just simply going to tuck this in like you would any other cotton. Just right down, pull it from the bottom, get it all the way in there. Okay, there's some deck there, so you got to get past that deck to get it in that corner little pocket. All right, and when it's in the pocket, like this, see I got it down there in that pocket. I'm going to take this and I'm going to push it back towards the back corner, away from this airflow hole. All right. So I'm going to make like a little notch in the cotton, and I know, it's just kind of, but that's so hard to follow. But I'm notching it, and I'm just simply by putting pressure on it like that. Boom, boom, boom. All right. I'm going to do that to both sides, and this is what it looks like. Notched. It's down in there, it's touching the bottom of the deck, but it's notched. Everything's away from that airflow hole. I'm going to do the same here, man. Take it from the bottom, so I'm going to press it against the deck, lift it up, press it down in, just like that. Pull it back into the corner, and I'm going to notch it. It's almost going to look like a little overhang for any of my rock climbers out there. See how it looks like it's not touching anything? And that's how I wick it. Just like that. Just like that. There's the notch. It's not touching. This has been working for me. Is this the greatest wicking technique in the world, dude? Hell no. Hell no, man. It's just working for me, and I hope it works for you. If you had it, this is definitely going to dial down the leaking quite a bit for you. Also, I want you to notice that pretty much all my cotton is on the inside of the deck. This one kind of came out a little bit. go. And there we go. For the most part, it's inside of the barrel. The barrel's not going to be touching my cotton. If the sides of this barrel touches the cotton on the inside, that has a tendency to draw juice against the barrel and really kind of drain the cotton, if you will, down to the side of the atomizer, which we were talking about earlier, right? Then it'll leak out the side. So this just kind of helps not doing that. Let's put it back on the device and get it all juicy, man. I have some Bowl of Joy here from Coil Vapes. It's like his take on cereal. It's delicious, man. So good. Bowl of Joy. Coupon code tjvapes for, oh god, I think 20% off or something like that. 10%, 20%, I can't remember. But I'm just going to do it like any other Atty, man. Put some on each coil. Let me get you focused in. I'm going to put some on each coil and then I'm going to fire it and it'll soak it in. And I'm just going to continue to do that. And at first it won't really make any vapor like it is now. But when you have enough in your coils, it'll start making a little vapor. So at this point I could just kind of concentrate on these. But really I never really do that. I just kind of stick with the coil here. And that's good right there. Barrel on. I like it about halfway. And it doesn't matter on each side. Like I don't even care where the coil is. Because it runs right through and up. One thing I wanted to note on the inside of the airflow hole, which I didn't discuss earlier. If you can see how it's kind of flattened on the inside of the airflow hole. Do you see that? Oh, jeez. Talk about light issues. God, Lord almighty. See how it's kind of squared off in there? That's pretty slick. And like I was telling you before, I haven't had any really leaking out of this, out of the airflow hole. Let me take a sip, we're done. And like hardly at all, right? There we go. And I don't know if it's because they squared it off in there, because it's like round. Let's say we're looking at it from the outside. It's round, and all of a sudden it goes squared off, and then it's round again. It's pretty slick, man. That could be it. Now, we could use a drip top on there. You always have to use this. Unless you find chuff that'll fit. I haven't tried to put on a drip top. I should look into that. I should have looked into that. I try to test these things as thoroughly as possible for you guys. I like it with the 510, dude. Right? So I put in the 510, and there's another look at that. Oh, you'll never focus. And it just protects you from spit back. My favorite, the piston from Mink Machine. There it is, man. Boom. No music. I ain't vaping it. Very cool. Let's go, man. Wow. The first thing you're going to notice with this particular Atty is the flavor is really heightened. And I don't know if I can credit that almost drip top, because the thing is, with this atomizer, by the way, you can't just drip through it. You can do it, but it takes a lot for it to even fall off the edge. You have to pull off this top. Now the O-rings are terrible on here. Once they get wet, it's just going to flop all over the place. That's just the way it is. Fit and finish on this thing, it came great. It looks good on everything. Seriously. Anything you put it on, it looks so good. I'm not even going in on this thing, but the flavor is outstanding on it. I like the size of it. As you can see, it's on the Titan here, but you know, when you compare it to something like a pie or something, it's definitely a little bigger, but it looks slick. Now, I have a 510 here. I can pop that out. This is a nice feature. I'll just pop in the drip top. Drip top. Comfortable though. I think I'm going to stick with that for a while. It's kind of nice. I'm getting a lot of really cool notes out of this thing. The Suave Atty gets a thumbs up from me. The O-rings, I can't wait till they fix the O-rings. This might be something I would definitely probably urge you to wait on. Wait for them to fix those and for those ones to come out. I'm going to vape on it for a few more minutes, and then we'll still continue to talk about experience, man. But and I'll show you the bottom, and there'll probably be just a hair of juice down there, but it always happens. Literally what I do is I just unscrew it, wipe it. Like I said, nothing really comes through the airflow holes. Could that be how I'm wicking it? I don't know. But what I've been doing, something with like the Nixon, RDA, Freak Show, anything like that, that's how I've been wicking them now. All my bottom airflow fed devices, the Puyo, same thing. You know, same thing. It's a crusty build, but come on, baby. My goodness. There we go. Same thing, but it's really it's keeping it right where it should be. It's just keeping the juice right where it should be. There's like nothing there, nothing. And I've been using that thing all day, you know. So I think what I'm doing is worth a shot. Give it a shot, man. Hopefully it'll help you. That's all any of my videos ever been. It's just hopefully it'll help you out, man. You know what I mean? But if you find something that works for you, by all means, stick with it. Let's pop off this top here. So we popped off the top. We'll get a little more juice in there. And then we pop it on. And as you do that over time, like I said, it doesn't take long before it's very loose. And you can literally just go, you know, pop it in and out. I was really happy to hear that they're working on fixing the O-rings. Like I like this atomizer so much that if they sold the O-rings separately, I would buy them in a heartbeat, because that's how much I love this thing. It's a great atomizer. The flavor's outstanding. I like the idea of it. It'd be pretty cool if maybe we put a hole right in the middle of that shield somewhere, so we could, you know what I mean? Is that shooting too far, man? I don't know. But some way to get juice down to the coils from right here would be excellent. Excellent. Because I'm not a pull off the top kind of guy. I like to drip through the drip tip, or at the most pull out the drip tip. You know what I mean? It's great. You notice black O-rings on here during the up close part, right? Though again, that was my attempt to fix it with the O-rings I had. I have a lot. I mean, this bag is just full of just random O-rings and different parts from atomizers. I own a lot of stuff, right? And none of them fixed it. Everything I tried didn't fix. I may go to dental floss. That's kind of my last resort thing, is the dental floss. You know. It's been so good hanging out with you guys again. If you'd like to purchase this, I will put a link in the description, man. Riverwalk Vapors, great people out there. As far as the Die Hard e-liquid situation, Nick's got something planned very special for my viewers. Stay tuned, man. We're going to do another video, and it's very special, and I salute him and all the guys at Riverwalk for the great job they do, man. You know what I mean? Got to throw that out there, because they're super cool guys. Let's end this. If you have any questions for me at all, feel free to email me at tjvapingreviews@aol.com, or simply comment down below, man. I try to get back to everybody. Do I get back to all of you? I hope I do. Let's end this. Classic form. Keep up the great work, man. And that's a shout out to Blitz, dude. You guys keep up the great work. This is super cool stuff. I mean, if the Noxus and this are something to show for the future, I'm really excited to see what you guys come out with, man. Let's go. Let's end this in classic form, dude. Classic. Yeah. See you guys. Blessings.